up YouTube, Tech Guy Hodger here, and this is just a video I've been wanting to make for quite a while now. It's about Mac OS and iOS becoming one operating system, because since Mac OS X Lion's been out, and as you've obviously noticed, they've adapted a lot of stuff from iOS, such as Launchpad, the way the mail looks, the way calendar looks, and since then everyone's been saying maybe one day, what if, okay, maybe not in a year, 2 years, I don't know, whenever, but they're saying, what if someday, sometime along the line, iOS and macOS becomes just one, where it's the same running on the mobile devices, on the iOS devices, and on the desktops. Now this kind of bugs me, because I don't know why, but basically I can't imagine an operating system which was designed for a tablet and a phone to be running on my desktop. Okay, Microsoft has done that with Windows 8, but it looks beautiful, but it doesn't look right, because I downloaded the developer preview, and while using it, I just didn't feel comfortable using it with my mouse, just because it's designed for a tablet. It's designed to be used with your hands, basically. And while I was using it, I kept having the need to want to have this in front of me on a big touchscreen rather than on my desktop. And that's what I mean. I think even as technology is advancing at a very, very massive rate, I still think there needs to be a distinction between a mobile device, such as your phones and your tablets, to your desktops. Maybe that's just me being old, but I can't imagine that. I guess Apple is pushing towards that by making you more reliant on a trackpad to get the full experience of macOS X Lion, because a lot of people, I'm guessing, when they upgraded, they felt the need to go out and buy a Magic Trackpad if they weren't already using a laptop. Basically, for the iMac users and the Mac Mini users, they might feel the need to want a trackpad because there's so many gestures to take advantage of. Yes, you can get those on the Magic Mouse, but it just doesn't feel the same to me. I've had a play around with Lion. I don't currently own a Mac, I know it'll kill me, but I will be getting one soon, don't worry. Unboxing coming up in the future, plug. But basically, I used it, I went to Best Buy and they had the MacBook Airs with Lion running, and I went up to it, and for some, it feels okay. Maybe they could run an iOS type slimmed down version on something like the MacBook Air, because it's got a trackpad. I kind of started using it as if it was meant to be a touchscreen device. I know that sounds kind of odd, but if you imagine the trackpad as the screen, but like this is how I was imagining it when I was approaching the MacBook Air. I was imagining the trackpad as the screen, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But like, I went onto Safari and without any hiccups, I was automatically using what Apple would like to call natural scrolling. And I found it quite easy to do that, rather than using it the opposite way. For those who don't know what Apple's version of natural scrolling is, what that basically is that now in macOS Lion, if you're scrolling up, your page goes down, and if you scroll down, the page goes up. So you're basically moving the content rather than the page, as to say. But I found that okay, even with Launchpad, I found it quite good moving with 2 fingers, swiping around the Launchpad. But on a desktop with a mouse, like imagine it on an iMac, imagine iOS on a 27-inch iMac. I can't see that happening. Okay, Apple might implement it in some way where it looks right, and in Steve Jobs' words, it just works. But I still think there does need to be a distinction between what you'd call your personal computer and your mobile device. Let me give you an example. Let's say, I don't know, Nokia, they make their own operating system, right? Seeing as everyone else is moving towards Android, but even Nokia is going to Windows. But at the moment in time of making this video, Nokia are make their own operating system. I would have used HP, but they don't make they're already in the PC market and they are already with Windows, so I doubt they'll, and plus they've said goodbye to all of that. But say Nokia someday decide that let's make computers. I don't think, okay, they will take a few things from their Symbian operating system, but they won't make it completely like that. That would be absurd to me, because Symbian mobile device, mobile operating system, designed for touch, and a PC with that running, I don't even think Nokia would ever see that happening, would ever see that as a doable thing. If you remember the N900 that Nokia brought out, they had a completely new operating system on that. I could see Nokia turning that operating, I think it was called Mimo or Mimo or something. I think it was Linux based, but I could really see that on a tablet because it looks like you could use that on a tablet quite nicely. So Nokia, if you're listening, bring out a tablet with that operating system, but refine it a bit more because you could really run with that kind of operating system on a tablet. And so that's basically my little, I don't know what you would call this, a rant, me showing old age, I don't know what you would call this video, but I don't think that Mac OS and iOS would look right. That's the right word, because I'll see, it's obviously going to happen. It's already, you're already seeing little hints and tips in line that is moving towards iOS. But I don't know, it depends how they implement it, how they execute the whole merger. Because maybe, okay, now I'm contradicting myself totally, but say if Apple does decide to put iOS on the Macs, they will probably develop it in a totally different way from the ground up. It's still our iOS, but it's designed in such a way that it can be used for desktops. But then that's not iOS. See, that's what I mean. You can't just port iOS completely onto the desktop. It doesn't work. I don't think it works. Let me know what you think in the comments. But to me, it doesn't look okay, it's doable. You just port it over, but it doesn't look usable. That's the word. It doesn't look usable. Or maybe someday the rumors of a touchscreen iMac will finally come true if iOS does end up on an iMac. But that's just me saying what I feel. Let me know what you think in the comments. And like, I know I've been blabbing on and on, but this was just an totally unplanned video. It was on my mind for quite a while, so I just thought I'll get it out there and see what kind of feedback I get on it. Maybe a lot of you will comment saying you're getting old. Yup. But let me know, and I'll see you again in another time, in another video. Take care.